The first light of dawn touches the curved rooftops of Chang'an, painting the morning sky in gentle shades of amber and rose. The great capital city awakens slowly, like a sleeping giant stretching after peaceful dreams. In the western quarter, where merchants from distant lands gather, the air carries the mingled scents of cardamom, cinnamon, and jasmine tea brewing in ceramic cups. Master Lai Wai stands at the edge of the vast market square, his weathered hands wrapped around a steaming bowl. Steam rises from the tea like morning mist over a tranquil lake. He is a man of perhaps 50 years, with kind eyes that have seen countless sunrises along the Silk Road. His beard, streaked with silver, catches the early light as he surveys the peaceful scene before him. All around the square, merchants are beginning their morning rituals. Silk vendors carefully unfold bolts of lustrous fabric deep burgundy, midnight blue, and cream white, arranging them with the reverence one might show precious manuscripts. The silk catches the growing light, shimmering like water under a gentle breeze. Each piece tells a story of careful cultivation, patient silkworms, and skilled weavers who worked by lamplight in distant workshops. The camels stand in patient rows, their thick coats still holding the coolness of night. These magnificent creatures seem to understand the significance of the journey ahead. Their large, intelligent eyes blink slowly as their handlers brush their coats with long, gentle strokes. The sound of the brushes creates a soft, rhythmic whisper that blends with the murmur of quiet conversations in a dozen different languages. Young apprentices move between the animals and cargo with careful steps, their arms full of provisions. They pack dried dates, sweet as honey, and rounds of flat bread wrapped in soft cloth. Clay jars filled with clear spring water are secured with thick rope, each knot tied with the precision of years of practice. These young men speak in hushed tones, aware that the early morning is a time for gentle preparation, not loud proclamations. Master Lai walks slowly between the loaded camels, his soft leather boots making barely a sound on the packed earth. He pauses beside each animal, running his hand along warm flanks, checking the distribution of weight in the woven panniers. His touch is that of a man who has spent his life understanding these noble creatures. They lean slightly toward him, recognizing his gentle authority. The caravan's goods represent months of careful selection. Beyond the precious silk, there are small chests of jade carved by master craftsmen, each piece smooth as river stones. Porcelain wrapped in layers of wool rests safely in wooden crates, the delicate blue and white patterns hidden but somehow present in the morning air. Bundles of fragrant tea leaves, compressed into neat cakes, promise comfort during long evenings around desert campfires. As the sun climbs higher, painting the market square in warm gold, the final preparations begin. Master Lai unfolds a large map, its edges soft from countless careful foldings. The ancient trade routes are marked in faded ink, following rivers and oases across vast distances. His finger traces the familiar path westward, over mountains whose names sound like poetry when spoken aloud. The other members of the caravan gather around their leader with quiet respect. There is old Chen, whose knowledge of desert stars could guide them through the darkest nights. Young Marco, who speaks the languages of distant cities and can bargain with the patience of a monk. The guards, strong men whose presence ensures safety, but whose faces show the gentleness of those who prefer peace to conflict. Birds begin their morning songs from the curved roofs above, their voices blending into a natural symphony. The sound drifts down into the market square like a blessing, mixing with the soft sounds of preparation. A gentle breeze stirs the hanging banners of silk merchants, creating waves of color that dance in the strengthening light. Master Lai rolls his map with careful hands and looks toward the western gate of the city. Beyond those walls lies the ancient road, worn smooth by countless caravans before them. It stretches across grasslands and through mountain passes, past cities whose names ring like distant bells. The journey ahead promises wonder and discovery, but always at the gentle pace of the desert-wise camel. The tea bowls are collected and packed away. Harnesses are adjusted one final time. The great camels shift slightly, sensing that departure approaches. In the growing light of Chang'an's morning, the silk caravan stands ready to begin another chapter in the endless story of the ancient roads, where time moves like flowing water, and every step forward is a step into timeless wonder. The massive gates of Chang'an rise before you like ancient guardians carved from stone and memory. Their weathered surfaces tell stories of countless travelers who have passed beneath these towering arches, each carrying dreams of distant lands and precious cargo. The morning sun catches the intricate details etched into the gate posts: dragons coiling around pillars, phoenixes spreading their wings toward heaven, symbols of protection for all who journey beyond. Your silk caravan moves in gentle procession through the shadowed archway. The sound of your footsteps echoes against the stone, mixing with the soft jingle of harness bells and the quiet conversations of fellow travelers. Merchants adjust their loads one final time, checking knots and securing bundles of lustrous silk that catch even the filtered light beneath the gates. The fabric whispers against itself as the gentle breeze moves through the caravan, a sound like distant water flowing over smooth stones. As you emerge from the shadow of the gates, the world opens before you in breathtaking splendor. Rolling hills stretch westward like green waves frozen in time, their slopes painted with the soft gold of morning light. Wildflowers dot the meadows, tiny bursts of purple, yellow, and white that nod gently in the warming air. The mist that clung to the valleys during the cool night hours begins its slow retreat, revealing the ancient road that will carry you across continents. The rhythm of the journey begins to establish itself around you. Horse hooves find their steady cadence on the packed earth, a gentle percussion that speaks of miles stretching ahead and adventures waiting beyond each hill. The camels move with their characteristic swaying gait, their bells creating a melodic counterpoint that seems to harmonize with the very heartbeat of the road itself. It is a sound that has accompanied travelers for centuries, a lullaby of commerce and discovery. You breathe deeply, filling your lungs with the fresh morning air. It carries the scent of grass heavy with dew, the earthy richness of the road, and the faint perfume of the silk bundles that surround you. These precious fabrics have been woven by master craftsmen in Chang'an's workshops, their threads dyed in colors that rival the sunset: deep crimsons, royal blues, and golds that shimmer like captured sunlight. Each bolt represents months of careful work, destined for markets in distant cities where such beauty is treasured beyond measure. The caravan leader calls out in a voice both strong and reassuring, his words carrying across the gentle morning air. The pace remains unhurried, allowing everyone to find their natural rhythm. Young merchants walk alongside their fathers, learning the ancient ways of the Silk Road through observation and quiet instruction. Pack animals snort softly and shake their heads, their bridles jingling like wind chimes in a summer garden. As the hills roll by, you notice how the landscape changes with subtle grace. Terraced fields give way to wilder meadows, where butterflies dance among the flowers. Small streams cross the road, their clear water providing refreshing stops where both travelers and animals can drink deeply. The sound of flowing water adds another layer to the symphony of your journey, a gentle murmuring that speaks of mountains far ahead and the endless cycle of seasons. The sun climbs higher, warming your shoulders and painting the world in increasingly vivid colors. The mist continues its retreat, revealing distant mountains that rise like ancient sentinels along the horizon. Those peaks hold the promise of adventure, of mountain passes where the air grows thin and the views stretch across the very roof of the world. But for now, they remain a distant dream, allowing you to focus on the simple pleasure of this moment. Fellow travelers share quiet conversations as they walk. Stories are exchanged, tales of previous journeys, descriptions of the magnificent cities that await, and gentle speculation about the wonders that lie ahead. An elderly merchant hums an old traveling song, its melody weaving through the steady rhythm of hooves and bells. The tune is picked up by others, creating a soft chorus that seems to float above the caravan like a blessing. The road curves gently around a hill, and you catch sight of the caravan stretching behind you, a ribbon of color and movement that speaks to the ancient human desire to explore, to trade, to connect with distant peoples and places. Silk banners flutter from some of the pack animals, their bright colors a celebration of the precious cargo being carried to markets beyond imagination. As the morning progresses, the rhythm of travel settles into your bones. Each step carries you further from the familiar and closer to the extraordinary. The Silk Road stretches ahead like a thread connecting civilizations, and you are part of that ancient tapestry, your own small story joining the countless others who have walked this path beneath the endless sky. The morning sun filters through wisps of cloud as your caravan begins its gentle ascent into the mountain pass. The wooden wheels of the silk-laden carts roll softly over smooth stone paths, worn smooth by countless travelers who have passed this way before you. Each turn of the wheel carries you higher, away from the dusty plains below and into the crisp, clean embrace of the mountains. Beside you, the lead camel sways with practiced ease, his bells chiming a soft, rhythmic melody that harmonizes with the distant trickle of mountain streams. The silk merchant walks alongside his precious cargo, occasionally running his weathered fingers along the rope that secures bundles of emerald and sapphire fabric. His eyes hold the quiet satisfaction of a man who knows these ancient paths like the lines on his own palm. As you climb higher, the air grows lighter, each breath carrying the scent of pine needles and wild mountain herbs. Tiny purple flowers peek out from crevices in the weathered stone walls that border the path. Their petals catch drops of morning, do that sparkle, like scattered diamonds in the early light. A gentle breeze stirs the caravan's colorful banners, making them dance lazily against the crystal-clear mountain sky. The path curves around a broad shoulder of granite, and suddenly the world opens before you. Rolling meadows stretch in every direction, carpeted in wildflowers that sway in waves of yellow, white, and pale blue. The sight draws murmurs of wonder from your fellow travelers. Even the camels seem to pause, their great heads turning to take in the peaceful vista. A mountain stream appears beside the path, its waters clear as glass as they tumble over smooth river stones. The sound is like gentle laughter, a constant companion that grows louder as the stream widens, then softer as it narrows again. You can see smooth pebbles on the bottom, worn round by years of patient water, and tiny silver fish that dart between the shadows. One of the younger merchants cups his hands in the cool water and drinks deeply, sighing with contentment. The water tastes of snow and sky, pure and refreshing. Several of the camels lower their long necks to drink as well, their great lips barely disturbing the surface of the stream. For a moment, the entire caravan pauses in this peaceful ritual, connected to the mountain and its ancient rhythms. The path ahead winds gently upward, through stands of evergreen trees, whose branches form a natural cathedral overhead. Shafts of golden sunlight pierce through the canopy, creating pools of warm light on the forest floor. The air here is filled with the deep, resinous scent of pine, and the earthy fragrance of moss growing on fallen logs. Your footsteps are muffled by a carpet of fallen needles that have accumulated over countless seasons. Birds call softly from the branches, above not the harsh cries of desert hawks, but the gentle trills and warbles of mountain songbirds. A small brown bird with bright eyes watches the caravan pass from its perch on a low branch, tilting its head with curious interest before fluttering deeper into the peaceful woods. As the afternoon light begins to slant through the trees, the path emerges into another meadow, this one dotted with smooth boulders that provide perfect resting spots. The caravan master signals a halt, and everyone settles gratefully onto the sun-warmed stone. The camels lower themselves to the ground with soft grunts of satisfaction, their loads secure, and their great eyes half closed in contentment. From this vantage point, you can see the path you've traveled winding down through the lower meadows like a ribbon of pale stone. Behind you, the peaks rise higher still, their snow-capped summits catching the last golden rays of the afternoon sun. But there is no urgency here, no need to rush. The mountain pass holds you gently in its embrace, offering rest and renewal to all who travel its ancient ways. The merchant shares dried dates and cool water from the mountain stream. The fruit is sweet and chewy, a perfect complement to the pure mountain air. As you rest, the evening breeze carries the sound of distant bells, perhaps another caravan on a parallel path, or simply the mountain's own music echoing off the stone faces. As the sun begins its slow descent toward the western peaks, painting the sky in soft shades of rose and gold, you know that this peaceful passage through the mountains will remain with you long after the journey ends. The gentle rhythm of the climb, the pure mountain air, the wildflowers nodding in the evening breeze, all of it becomes part of your own story, woven into the endless tale of the Silk Road, and all who have traveled its timeless paths toward distant horizons and dreams yet to be fulfilled. As the morning sun climbs higher above the mountain peaks, your caravan wins its way along a narrow path carved into the rocky hillside. The air grows thin and crisp, carrying with it the scent of pine and distant wood smoke. Below, tucked into a sheltered valley like a jewel in cupped hands, lies the village of the Jade Makers. The settlement appears almost dreamlike from this height. Small stone houses with curved tile roofs nestle together, their walls weathered to a soft gray that blends seamlessly with the surrounding cliffs. Wisps of smoke curl lazily from chimney stones, and you can see the glint of water from a stream that winds through the village center like a silver ribbon. Your guide, an elderly man whose weathered hands know every stone of this ancient route, points toward the valley with obvious affection. The people here, he says in his gentle voice, have been shaping jade for more than 1,000 years. Their ancestors first discovered the green stones in the riverbed, and ever since, each generation has passed down the sacred craft. As your camels pick their way carefully down the winding path, the sounds of the village drift upward on the mountain air. The gentle tapping of hammers on stone creates a rhythm like distant rain on leaves. Children's laughter echoes from narrow streets, and somewhere, an old woman hums a melody that seems to dance with the wind. The villagers emerge from their doorways as your caravan approaches, their faces lit with warm smiles of welcome. These mountain people move with unhurried grace, their clothes simple but well-made, dyed in earth tones that mirror the landscape around them. The village elder, a woman whose silver hair catches the sunlight like spun moonbeams, greets your caravan leader with hands pressed together in a gesture of respect. Your camels are led to a shaded area near the stream, where they lower themselves gratefully to the ground with soft groans of contentment. The sound of running water mingles with their gentle breathing, creating a natural symphony that seems to slow time itself. The jade workshops line the main street like windows into another world. Through open doorways, you glimpse craftsmen seated cross-legged on worn cushions, their tools arranged with careful precision on low wooden tables. The jade itself seems to glow with inner light pieces in every shade from palest green to deep forest emerald, each one smooth as silk beneath patient fingers. An old craftsman with kind eyes invites you to watch as he works. His movements are meditation in motion, each tap of his small hammer deliberate and gentle. The jade responds to his touch like a living thing, revealing its hidden beauty grain by grain. The stone tells us what it wishes to become. He explains, his voice barely above a whisper. We simply help it find its way. As afternoon settles over the village like a soft blanket, the pace grows even more peaceful. Women tend small gardens where vegetables grow in neat rows, their hands moving with the same patient rhythm as the jade carvers. Children play quiet games in shaded courtyards, their voices creating a gentle counterpoint to the eternal tapping from the workshops. The evening meal is shared in the village square, where low tables are arranged in a circle around a small fire. The jade makers offer simple fare rice flavored with mountain herbs, vegetables from their gardens, and tea that tastes of flowers and distant rain. The food is eaten slowly, savored, each bite appreciated like the precious jade these people shape with such care. As stars begin to appear in the darkening sky, stories flow around the fire like the stream that runs through their village. The jade makers speak of stones that sang when first discovered, of carved dragons that seemed to move in firelight, of ancestors who could read the future in the patterns of green and white that run through each piece of jade. Your fellow travelers share tales from distant lands of silk that shimmers like water, of spices that warm the heart, of cities where 10,000 people live as close together as the stars above. The jade makers listen with the same patient attention they give their stones, their faces reflecting the dancing firelight. The night air carries the scent of mountain flowers and wood smoke as the gathering grows quiet. One by one, people begin to drift toward their homes, their footsteps soft on the worn stone paths. The jade makers offer the travelers clean straw beds in a guest house that smells of cedar and dried herbs. As you settle into your simple bed, the sound of the village stream mingles with the distant tapping of one last craftsman, working by lamplight in his small workshop. The rhythm is hypnotic, peaceful, like a gentle heartbeat that connects this mountain village to the ancient pulse of the earth itself. In this place where patience has been perfected into art, sleep comes as naturally as morning mist rising from the valley below. The mountain path winds higher now, and with each step, the air grows thinner and sweeter. Your caravan has been climbing for 3 days, leaving behind the dusty lowland roads for these ancient stone steps carved into the mountainside centuries ago. The silk bundles sway gently on the backs of your camels, their precious contents protected by layers of oiled leather against the mountain mist. As you round a bend in the path, the monastery appears like something from a dream, built into the very face of the mountain. Its golden walls seem to glow in the soft afternoon light. Prayer flags flutter in the gentle breeze, their bright colors red, blue, yellow, green, and white dancing against the backdrop of snow-capped peaks that stretch endlessly into the distance. The massive wooden doors stand open in welcome, and a monk in saffron robes approaches with hands pressed together in greeting. His face is weathered but kind, his eyes holding the deep peace of someone who has found contentment in simplicity. Without words, he gestures for you to follow, and your weary animals are led to a sheltered courtyard where fresh hay and clean water await. The monastery's guest quarters are simple but warm. Thick woolen blankets, woven in patterns of clouds and mountains, cover low wooden beds. A small brazier glows in the corner, casting dancing shadows on walls decorated with painted lotus flowers and peaceful mountain scenes. Through the window, you can see the sun beginning its slow descent behind the peaks, painting the sky in shades of pink and gold. The evening meal is served in the great hall, where monks and travelers gather around low tables. Steaming bowls of barley soup warm your hands, and the simple bread tastes somehow more satisfying than any feast you've enjoyed in the great cities below. The monks speak little, but their presence is comforting, filled with a quiet wisdom that needs no translation. After dinner, one of the elder monks leads you through the monastery garden. Here, despite the mountain altitude, vegetables grow in careful terraced plots. Turnips and cabbages nestle in dark soil, while herbs release their fragrant oils into the cool evening air. A small stream runs through the center of the garden, its water crystal clear, as it tumbles over smooth stones worn smooth by countless years of flow. You find yourself drawn to a wooden bench beneath an ancient pine tree. The monk beside you points to the stars beginning to appear in the darkening sky, each one brilliant and clear in the thin mountain air. The Milky Way spreads across the heavens like scattered flour, more vivid than you've ever seen it in the dust and smoke of the trading cities. A soft chiming begins to drift across the valley. The evening prayer bells. The monk explains in broken words mixed with gentle gestures. First one bell, deep and resonant, then another joins in harmony. The sound seems to flow with the mountain wind, carried by currents of air that have traveled across glaciers and through hidden valleys where few humans have ever walked. Other travelers have found their way to the garden now. A merchant from Kashmir sits quietly by the stream, his weathered hands tracing patterns in the gravel. A family of pilgrims shares dried fruit beneath the stars, their children's soft voices blending with the distant sound of chanting from the monastery's main hall. The bells continue their gentle song, each toll seeming to release the day's accumulated tensions from your shoulders. Your breathing slows to match their rhythm. The sounds of the mountain night begin to emerge, the soft whisper of wind through pine branches, the distant call of a night bird, the almost musical trickle of water over stones. A younger monk appears with cups of butter tea, the warm, salty liquid providing unexpected comfort in the cooling air. The taste is foreign but soothing, and you understand why mountain people have cherished this drink for generations. It warms you from within, preparing your body for rest at this high altitude. As the last bell fades into silence, the monks begin to retreat to their evening prayers. The garden grows quieter, lit now only by starlight and the soft glow of oil lamps flickering in the monastery windows. Tomorrow, your caravan will continue its journey toward the distant markets. But tonight, surrounded by this ancient peace, the urgency of trade and profit seems less important. You make your way slowly back to the guest quarters, your steps soft on the stone paths. The woolen blankets await, and through the window, the mountain peaks stand guard like silent sentinels against the star-filled sky. The monastery settles into its nighttime rhythm, a place where time moves differently, where rest comes naturally, and where the ancient wisdom of the mountains watches over all who seek shelter beneath these sacred walls. The morning mist clings to the mountainside like silk scarves draped across stone shoulders, slowly lifting as the sun climbs higher into the pale sky. Your caravan begins its final descent from the high passes, leaving behind the world of pine and snow for something altogether different. The air grows warmer with each switchback of the narrow trail, and you can feel the change in your bones, a subtle shift from the crisp mountain cold to something dry and expectant. Ahead of you, the lead camel bells chime their gentle rhythm, a sound that has become as familiar as your own heartbeat over these many weeks. The animals seem to sense the approaching change too. Their steps grow more purposeful, more eager, as if they remember what lies ahead even when their riders cannot yet see it. The pack camels shift their loads with practiced ease, their broad feet finding purchase on the increasingly sandy path. As you round another bend, the view opens before you like a scroll being unrolled. The green world of the mountains falls away behind, and stretching endlessly ahead lies a sea of gold, the great Taklamakan Desert. It shimmers in the distance, waves of heat already beginning to dance across its surface even in the early morning light. The sight is both beautiful and humbling. This vast expanse that has swallowed countless travelers and merchants over the centuries. But you are not venturing into the desert, unprepared or alone. Your caravan master, weathered by decades of such journeys, raises his hand to halt the procession. He points toward a dark smudge on the horizon, your destination for today. An oasis town, where palm trees create a green island in the golden sea, where cool water bubbles up from deep underground springs, and where the ancient rituals of desert crossing will begin. The descent continues, and with each step, the landscape transforms around you. The hardy mountain grasses give way to scrubland, then to scattered bushes that seem to cling to life with stubborn determination. The rocks change color too, shifting from the gray granite of the heights to sandstone in shades of amber and rust. Small lizards dart between the stones, pausing to regard your passing caravan with bright, curious eyes before disappearing into the shadows. Your fellow travelers begin their own preparations for what lies ahead. Water containers are checked and double-checked. The precious silk bales are examined for any sign of wear that might let in the fine desert sand. Extra cloth is distributed, long strips that will wrap around faces and heads, protection against the sun and the stinging particles that ride the desert wind. The camels seem almost to smile as they approach their natural element. These ships of the desert were born for this crossing. Their broad feet will not sink into the sand. Their thick eyelashes will shield their eyes from storms, and their remarkable ability to go days without water will see the entire caravan safely across. You watch them with growing admiration, these ungainly yet magnificent creatures that make such journeys possible. As the hours pass, the oasis town grows larger and more distinct. You can make out individual palm trees now, their fronds waving in the desert breeze like welcoming hands. Smoke rises from cooking fires, and you catch the first distant sounds of human activity. Children's laughter, the lowing of cattle, the musical call of merchants hawking their wares. The air itself seems different here at the desert's edge. It carries new scents: the dry sweetness of dates, the green smell of irrigated gardens, and underneath it all, the clean, empty vastness of the desert itself. It's an ancient smell, older than empires, older than the very roads your caravan follows. Your caravan master calls for the final preparations before entering the oasis town. Dust is shaken from travel clothes, important goods are secured, and water containers are topped off from the last mountain stream. These rituals have been performed by countless generations of travelers at this very spot, each group adding their own small chapter to the endless story of the Silk Road. The sun climbs higher, painting everything in shades of gold and amber. Soon you will reach the oasis, where cool shade and fresh water await. There, the real preparations for the desert crossing will begin. The gathering of supplies, the consultation with local guides, the careful planning that can mean the difference between a successful journey and becoming another legend whispered around desert campfires. But for now, you are suspended between worlds. The green mountains behind you fading into memory, the golden desert ahead shimmering with possibility. The bells of your caravan sing their gentle song, and the ancient road stretches on, carrying you forward into the heart of one of the world's greatest adventures. The morning sun casts long shadows across the desert as your caravan crests the final hill before Kashgar. Below, like a jewel set in golden sand, the great oasis city spreads before you in all its ancient splendor. Palm trees sway gently in the morning breeze, their fronds catching the light like emerald silk. The sight fills your travel-weary heart with quiet joy. For after weeks of endless dunes and star-filled nights, civilization beckons with the promise of cool shade and sweet water. Your camels sense the nearness of rest, their pace quickening as they smell the precious water that flows through Kashgar's heart. The great gates of the city rise before you, carved from weathered stone and adorned with intricate patterns that speak of craftsmen from generations past. Guards in flowing robes nod their greeting, their faces kind beneath colorful turbans. They have seen countless caravans like yours, and they understand the deep relief that comes with reaching this sanctuary in the desert. As you pass through the gates, the sounds of the city embrace you like an old friend. Children laugh as they play in the dusty streets, their voices bright as silver bells. Merchants call out their wares in a dozen different languages, creating a gentle symphony of commerce that has echoed through these streets for 1,000 years. The clip-clop of donkey hooves mingles with the soft shuffle of sandaled feet, while somewhere in the distance, a fountain bubbles peacefully in a hidden courtyard. The bazaars of Kashgar unfold before you like pages in an illuminated manuscript. Narrow lanes wind between stalls heavy with treasures from across the known world. Persian rugs hang like tapestries of dreams, their deep blues and rich crimsons telling stories of distant workshops where patient weavers spent months crafting each perfect knot. You pause to run your fingers across the soft wool, feeling the intricate patterns that map the artistic soul of far-off lands. The air grows thick with the perfume of spices as you drift deeper into the market's heart. Pyramids of saffron glow like captured sunlight, while cardamom pods rest in neat piles beside cinnamon bark that still holds the memory of tropical forests. Turmeric paints everything it touches with gold, and the sharp sweetness of star anise mingles with the earthy warmth of cumin. Merchant hands, stained yellow from years of handling these precious powders, gesture gracefully as they explain the virtues of their goods. An elderly spice seller, his beard white as mountain snow, invites you to sample his wares. His weathered hands cup a small portion of tea leaves, their aroma carrying hints of distant mountains where they were picked by gentle fingers in the cool morning mist. He speaks softly of the journey these leaves have taken, crossing rivers and valleys, carried by other caravans like your own. Also that travelers might find comfort in a simple cup of warming brew. In another corner of the bazaar, the fruit sellers have arranged their treasures with the care of artists. Melons from the local oasis sit heavy and perfect, their pale green skins promising flesh sweet as honey within. The vendor taps one gently with his knuckle, listening to the hollow sound that speaks of perfect ripeness. He cuts a small wedge for you to taste, and the juice runs down your chin like liquid sunshine, carrying the essence of this desert paradise. Dates hang in golden clusters, each one plump with natural sugars that have concentrated under the desert sun. Pomegranates split open reveal seeds like tiny rubies, while figs, soft as velvet, promise sweetness that will linger long after the last bite. The fruit seller's smile is as warm as his produce is sweet, and he wraps your selections in broad leaves that will keep them fresh for the next leg of your journey. As the day grows warm, you find yourself drawn to the cool shade of a tea house, where travelers from many lands sit quietly, sharing stories in hushed voices. The proprietor, a kind man with eyes that have seen many seasons, serves you tea in small glass cups that catch the filtered sunlight streaming through grapevines overhead. Steam rises from the amber liquid, carrying scents of jasmine and peace. Around you, Persian merchants discuss the quality of silk with Chinese traders, their voices soft as the evening breeze. Indian pilgrims share quiet prayers with local farmers, while somewhere a musician plucks gentle notes from a stringed instrument, creating melodies that seem to capture the very soul of the Silk Road itself. The fountain in the courtyard bubbles softly, its water catching fragments of sunlight as it falls into a basin lined with blue tiles. The sound creates a gentle rhythm that soothes your travel-worn spirit, reminding you that in places like Kashgar, the ancient rhythms of trade and friendship continue as they have for countless generations, offering rest and renewal to all who journey along these timeless roads. As the last traces of daylight fade behind the ancient walls of Kashgar, a different world begins to awaken. The scorching heat of the day gives way to cool evening breezes that carry the mingled scents of cardamom, cinnamon, and jasmine through the narrow streets. You follow the gentle sound of footsteps on worn cobblestones as merchants emerge from their afternoon rest, preparing to transform the quiet bazaar into something altogether more enchanting. Lanterns begin to flicker to life, one by one, like earthbound stars finding their way home. The warm amber glow spreads slowly through the marketplace, casting dancing shadows against weathered brick walls and creating pools of golden light that seem to invite wanderers deeper into the maze of stalls and shops. The air itself seems to shimmer with possibility as vendors carefully arrange their most precious treasures beneath the protective glow of these paper guardians. Your caravan companions have found comfortable quarters in a traditional caravanserai, its courtyard filled with the soft murmur of tired travelers sharing stories over steaming bowls of tea. But the night market calls with its gentle mystery, and you find yourself drawn toward the heart of this ancient trading post, where cultures have mingled for over 1,000 years. The first stall you encounter displays bolts of silk that seem to capture moonlight in their threads. An elderly merchant with kind eyes and weathered hands runs his fingers along the fabric, and the silk responds like water, flowing and rippling in waves of deep blue, emerald green, and sunset gold. He speaks in a language you don't understand, but his gestures are universal as he shows you how the silk changes color in the lantern light, each angle revealing new depths and mysteries woven into the very fiber. Nearby, the air grows rich with the aroma of exotic spices. Mountains of saffron glow like tiny golden suns in wooden bowls, while cardamom pods rest in neat pyramids, their pale green shells hiding the complex perfume within. The spice merchant moves with practiced grace, measuring precise amounts with brass scales that gleam in the lamplight, each transaction conducted with the reverence of ancient ritual. Music begins to drift from a tea house tucked between two shops, the haunting melody of a wooden flute joined by the gentle rhythm of a small drum. The notes seem to float on the cool evening air, weaving between the market stalls and drawing listeners into a shared moment of peaceful contemplation. Through the open doorway, you glimpse men sitting cross-legged on carpeted platforms, their faces illuminated by candles as they sip from small glasses and listen to the musician with expressions of quiet contentment. A jewelry maker sits beneath a particularly bright lantern, his nimble fingers working silver wire into intricate patterns. Turquoise stones catch the light like captured pieces of sky, while garnets glow with deep red fire. His movements are hypnotic in their precision, each bend and twist of the metal deliberate and sure, as if he's conducting a silent conversation between his hands and the precious materials. The carpet sellers have spread their wares across the ground, creating a tapestry of colors and patterns that tells stories of distant regions and ancient traditions. Persian roses bloom in deep reds and blues. Geometric patterns march across borders in perfect symmetry, and hunting scenes play out in thread and dye across the wool. An old woman sits among the carpets, her fingers working steadily on a new creation, the shuttle moving back and forth in a rhythm as old as the city itself. As you wander deeper into the market, the sounds and scents create a gentle symphony around you. The soft clink of coins changing hands, the rustle of silk being unfurled, the murmur of negotiations conducted in multiple languages, all blend together into something almost musical. Children dart between the stalls with quiet laughter, their feet bare against the cool stones, while elderly men pause to examine jade carvings and ivory chess pieces with the focused attention of true connoisseurs. The night air carries the smoke of small cooking fires, where vendors prepare simple meals for hungry travelers. Flatbread bakes on metal plates, filling the air with the comforting aroma of wheat and herbs, while pots of stew simmer quietly, their contents mysterious but inviting. Steam rises in gentle wisps, adding to the dreamlike quality of the scene. Above it all, the stars begin to appear in the clear desert sky, their ancient light joining the warm glow of the lanterns below. The market continues its gentle dance of commerce and culture, but with the peaceful rhythm of a place that has witnessed countless such evenings, each one adding to the rich tapestry of memory that seems to permeate every stone and shadow. As the night deepens, You find yourself naturally drawn back toward the caravanserai, carrying with you the gentle magic of Kashgar's night market, where the ancient Silk Road lives on in the patient hands of craftsmen, and the timeless ritual of travelers sharing stories beneath the endless canopy of stars. The morning sun rises slowly over the endless expanse of golden sand, painting the dunes in shades of amber and rose. You pull your robes closer as the caravan prepares to enter the great desert, the final passage on this ancient journey. The camels shift restlessly, their bells chiming softly in the still air, as if they sense the vastness that lies ahead. Your guide, weathered by countless crossings, points toward a series of carefully stacked stones, marking the beginning of the desert route. These cairns have stood for generations, placed by travelers who came before, each one a silent guardian showing the way through this sea of sand. The first marker rises like a gentle sentinel, welcoming you into the singing sands. As your camel takes its first steps onto the soft dunes, you feel the rhythm change. Gone is the steady clop of hooves on packed earth. Now there is only the whispered shuffle of sand and the soft padding of broad camel feet. The animal beneath you moves with ancient wisdom, each step deliberate and sure, following paths invisible to your eyes, but clear as highways to these desert-born creatures. The wind begins to stir, and with it comes the desert's most mysterious gift, its voice. At first, you hear only the gentle rush of air across the dunes, but as the breeze strengthens, the sand itself begins to sing. The grains shift and slide against each other, creating low, haunting tones that rise and fall like a distant choir. Some say it is the desert welcoming travelers. Others believe it is the ancient songs of those who walked these paths long ago. Your caravan moves in single file now, following the lead camel's steady pace. Behind you, the merchant adjusts his load of precious silk, the colorful fabrics catching the light like captured rainbows. The sound of the singing sands grows stronger, a deep humming that seems to come from the very heart of the desert. It rises and falls with each gust of wind, sometimes barely audible, sometimes swelling into a chorus that makes the air itself seem to vibrate. The camels appear unbothered by this ethereal music. They continue their measured walk, occasionally pausing to investigate a plant struggling through the sand or to adjust to the shifting ground beneath their feet. Their large, gentle eyes remain calm, reflecting centuries of desert crossings. They know this place, respect its moods, understand its rhythms. As you travel deeper into the dunes, the landscape transforms around you. The sand shifts from pale gold to deeper amber, sculpted by wind into flowing curves that seem almost liquid. Some dunes rise like gentle hills, while others create valleys filled with the finest, softest sand you have ever seen. The singing changes too, growing more complex as the wind finds new shapes and hollows to play across. You pause at the second cairn, stones carefully balanced despite years of desert winds. Here, your guide allows the camels to rest, their long necks stretching down to investigate the sparse vegetation that somehow thrives in this seemingly barren place. The singing sands continue their chorus, a sound both haunting and comforting, like a lullaby sung by the earth itself. The sun climbs higher, but the desert air remains surprisingly cool in the early morning. You adjust your position on the comfortable saddle, feeling the gentle sway of the camel's gait as the caravan resumes its journey. The singing grows softer now, a background melody that accompanies your thoughts as you watch the endless dance of light and shadow across the dunes. In the distance, another stone marker appears, wavering slightly in the heat that is beginning to rise from the sand. The camels seem to recognize this landmark, quickening their pace just slightly, their bells creating a gentle counterpoint to the desert's song. The lead camel lifts its head, nostrils flaring as it tests the air for signs of water or shelter ahead. The desert stretches endlessly in all directions, but there is no sense of being lost. The ancient route is clear to those who know how to read it, in the placement of stones, the patterns of blown sand, the subtle variations in the dunes themselves. You are following a path that has been traveled for thousands of years, each footstep adding to the great story of human movement across this timeless landscape. As the morning progresses, the singing sands continue their mysterious chorus, welcoming you deeper into their domain. The rhythm of travel settles into your bones. The steady sway of the camel, the soft whisper of sand, the gentle melody that seems to emanate from the very soul of the desert. Here, in this vast expanse of golden silence, time itself seems to slow, allowing you to truly appreciate the ancient magic of the Silk Road's most haunting passage. The morning sun casts long shadows across the endless sea of sand, and you find yourself walking alongside the gentle giants of the desert. The camels, whose soft bells create a hypnotic melody with each measured step. The silk caravan has been traveling for 3 days now through this vast expanse, where dunes roll like golden waves beneath an impossibly blue sky. Your feet sink slightly into the warm sand with each footfall, and you can feel the ancient rhythm of countless travelers who have walked this very path. The merchants beside you move with the quiet confidence of those who know these routes as intimately as the veins in their own hands. Their robes flutter softly in the desert breeze, and the precious silks they carry whisper secrets of distant lands with every gentle sway of the camel packs. As the hours pass, the sun climbs higher, painting the desert in shades of amber and gold. The silence here is profound, broken only by the soft shuffling of feet in sand, the occasional low rumble of a camel, and the distant call of a desert bird riding the thermals high above. You breathe deeply, tasting the clean, dry air that carries hints of sage and distant rainfall. Then, as you crest a particularly tall dune, something extraordinary appears on the horizon. At first, it's merely a shimmer, a green mirage that dances in the heat haze. But as the caravan continues its steady progress, the shimmer solidifies, becomes real, becomes gloriously, unmistakably green. Palm trees, dozens of them, their fronds waving like welcoming hands against the azure sky. Your heart lifts at this blessed sight, and you hear the merchants around you murmur prayers of gratitude in languages that sound like music. The camels seem to sense the nearness of water, their pace quickening slightly, their bells chiming with renewed energy. As you draw closer, the oasis reveals itself in all its magnificent abundance. 7 natural springs bubble up from deep within the earth, creating pools of crystal-clear water that reflect the palm fronds above like liquid mirrors. The sound of flowing water is perhaps the most beautiful music you've ever heard, a gentle babbling and trickling that speaks of life and renewal in this vast wilderness. The caravan leader guides everyone to a shaded area beneath the largest cluster of date palms. Here, the temperature drops by what feels like 20 degrees, and the air carries the sweet, earthy scent of growing things. You settle onto a carpet of fallen palm fronds, their texture soft and yielding beneath you. All around the springs, nature has created a small paradise. Date palms heavy with fruit provide natural sweetness, their clusters of golden dates hanging like nature's own chandeliers. Fig trees spread their broad leaves, offering both shade and the promise of succulent fruit. Small birds flit between the branches, tiny desert finches with bright eyes and cheerful songs that seem to celebrate the eternal miracle of water in the desert. You cup the cool spring water in your hands and drink deeply. It tastes of minerals and earth, pure and clean, more refreshing than any beverage you've ever known. The water runs down your throat like liquid silver, and you feel it reviving every cell in your body. Around you, the merchants are performing their own rituals of gratitude and refreshment, some washing their faces and hands, others simply sitting in quiet contemplation of this natural blessing. The oasis seems to exist in its own gentle time. Here, the urgent pace of the journey slows to something more contemplative, more peaceful. Butterflies with wings like stained glass windows dance among the flowering bushes that grow near the water's edge. Dragonflies skim across the surface of the springs, their wings catching and scattering sunlight like tiny prisms. As afternoon melts into evening, the oasis takes on an even more magical quality. The setting sun filters through the palm fronds, creating patterns of gold and green light that shift and dance across the ground. The temperature becomes perfect, warm but not hot, with a gentle breeze that carries the sound of water and the rustle of leaves. You lie back against the soft earth, listening to the symphony of the oasis, the eternal murmur of the springs, the whisper of wind through palm fronds, the distant conversation of your fellow travelers, and the soft sounds of camels settling down for the night. This place feels timeless, as if it has offered the same refuge to countless travelers across the centuries, a constant point of peace and renewal in the ever-changing desert. Tonight, you will sleep under stars so bright they seem close enough to touch, lulled by the gentle music of 7 springs that have flowed here since the beginning of time, carrying you into dreams as peaceful and eternal as the oasis itself. The morning sun rises slowly over the horizon, casting long golden rays across the vast expanse before you. The caravan has traveled through the night, and now, as dawn breaks, you find yourself at the edge of something truly magnificent. Ahead stretches a lake unlike any you have ever seen, not of water, but of salt, white as fresh snow and smooth as polished marble. The salt lake extends endlessly before you, its crystalline surface reflecting the pale sky above with such perfect clarity that the boundary between heaven and earth seems to disappear entirely. It is as if you are walking at the edge of the world itself, where the heavens have fallen to earth and become solid beneath your feet. The air here is different, cleaner somehow, tinged with the mineral scent of salt and the subtle warmth of the rising sun. Your camel's hooves make soft, crunching sounds as they touch the outer edge of the salt plain. The sound is gentle, rhythmic, like walking through fresh snow on a winter morning. Other members of the caravan move quietly beside you, their voices hushed in reverence for this natural wonder. Even the bells on the camels seem to chime more softly here, as if they too understand that this place calls for quiet contemplation. In the distance, you notice movement, elegant forms wading through the shallow waters at the lake's far edge. Flamingos, hundreds of them, stand like living sculptures against the white salt and pale blue sky. Their pink plumage catches the early light, creating gentle splashes of color across the monochrome landscape. They move with unhurried grace, their long necks curved in elegant arcs as they filter the salt water through their beaks, searching for the tiny organisms that give them their beautiful coloring. The sight is dreamlike, almost otherworldly. These graceful birds seem to exist in a realm between reality and fantasy, their reflections in the still water creating perfect mirror images that double their beauty. Some stand motionless as statues, while others wade slowly through the shallows, their movements creating gentle ripples that catch and scatter the morning light like scattered diamonds. As the caravan continues along the lake's edge, you encounter small groups of salt merchants who have made their temporary camps here. These hardy traders have come from distant cities to harvest the lake's white treasure. Their methods are ancient and gentle. They rake the salt into neat piles, allowing the sun and wind to complete the drying process. The piles of salt glisten like small mountains of precious gems, each crystal catching and refracting the light in countless directions. The merchants work with quiet efficiency, their movements slow and deliberate. There is no hurry here, no sense of urgency. Time seems to move differently at the salt lake's edge, as if the vastness of the white plain has somehow stretched the moments into something longer, more peaceful. You watch as one merchant carefully fills leather sacks with the pure white crystals, each grain representing the patient work of sun, wind, and time. The silence here is profound, but not empty. It is filled with subtle sounds. The gentle lapping of water against salt formations, the soft whisper of wind across the flat expanse, the distant calls of the flamingos as they communicate with one another. These sounds blend together into a natural symphony that seems designed to soothe the soul and quiet the mind. As you sit beside your camel, sharing a simple meal of dates and flatbread with your fellow travelers, you find yourself mesmerized by the play of light across the Salt Lake's surface. The sun climbs higher, and the reflections become even more brilliant, creating patterns of light that dance and shift with each gentle breeze. It is like watching clouds move across the sky, but reflected below in perfect detail. The wistful beauty of this place touches something deep within you. There is something about the combination of the vast white expanse, the graceful flamingos, and the gentle rhythm of the salt merchants' work that speaks to a longing for simplicity and peace. This is a place where the earth reveals one of its quieter miracles, not dramatic or overwhelming, but subtle and enduring. As the caravan prepares to continue its journey, you take one last look across the Salt Lake. The flamingos continue their elegant dance in the shallows. The merchants tend to their white harvest, and the vast mirror of salt and sky stretches on toward the horizon. This moment, this place, becomes a treasure in your memory, a reminder that the world holds peaceful wonders for those who take the time to notice them. The gentle rocking motion of your camel as the caravan moves forward carries you away from the Salt Lake's edge. But the tranquil beauty of this magical place travels with you, a soothing balm for the soul as you continue your journey along the ancient Silk Road. The afternoon sun hangs like a golden medallion in the vast blue sky as your caravan crests the final hill before Samarkand. Below you spreads a vision that seems conjured from the dreams of poets and the tales of wandering storytellers. The city rises from the earth like a jeweled crown, its magnificent domes catching the light and throwing it back in brilliant, shimmering waves of gold and turquoise. You pause here, letting your weary camels rest while you drink in the sight that has drawn traders across thousands of miles of desert and mountain. The golden domes of Samarkand float above the city like captured suns, each one a masterpiece of craftsmanship that speaks of wealth beyond imagining and artisans whose skills have been passed down through countless generations. The largest dome, crowning what must be the Great Mosque, seems to pulse with warm light, as if breathing with the rhythm of the city below. As your caravan begins its gentle descent toward the city gates, the sounds of Samarkand reach your ears like a welcoming song. The distant call of merchants, the soft lowing of cattle, the splash of fountains, and underneath it all, the low murmur of 1,000 conversations in 12 languages. This is the crossroads of the world, where silk from distant China meets gold from far-off lands, where spices from tropical islands mingle with precious stones pulled from mountain caves. The city walls grow larger as you approach, built of honey-colored stone that seems to glow in the afternoon light. Guards in flowing robes nod respectfully as your caravan passes through the gates, recognizing the quality of your silk and the prosperity it represents. Inside the walls, Samarkand unfolds like a map drawn by someone who has never known scarcity or want. Wide boulevards stretch before you, lined with plane trees whose broad leaves whisper secrets to the gentle breeze. Between the trees, channels of clear water flow in carefully crafted stone conduits, feeding the numerous fountains that mark every intersection and plaza. The sound of flowing water is everywhere, a constant, soothing music that speaks of abundance and careful planning by rulers who understood that a city in the desert must make water its most precious ornament. Your caravan master guides you through streets where the very air seems to shimmer with prosperity. Workshops open onto the thoroughfares, revealing artisans bent over their work. Here, a silversmith hammers delicate patterns into a bowl. There, A carpet weaver threads silk through an intricate design that will take months to complete. The craftsmen work with unhurried precision, their movements smooth and practiced, creating beauty that will outlast their makers by centuries. The trading quarter beckons with its covered bazaars and courtyards, filled with merchants from every corner of the known world. Persian traders in elegant robes examine Chinese porcelain with the careful eye of experts. Arab merchants weigh gold dust on scales so precise they can measure the worth of a single grain. Indian spice dealers arrange their wares in perfect pyramids of colored deep red paprika, golden turmeric, dark brown cinnamon bark that releases its warm fragrance into the air. Your own precious cargo of silk draws immediate attention. Buyers gather as your servants carefully unfold bolt after bolt of the finest fabric. The silk catches the light filtering through the bazaar's wooden lattice roof, each thread seeming to hold captured sunbeams. Negotiations begin with the gentle courtesy that marks all great trading cities, each party understanding that business conducted with grace and patience yields the best results for all. As afternoon slides toward evening, you find yourself in one of Samarkand's famous gardens, a guest of a prosperous local merchant who has purchased several bolts of your finest silk. The garden surrounds you with the gentle sounds of fountains and the soft rustle of fruit trees heavy with apricots and pomegranates. Peacocks wander the pathways, their calls adding an exotic music to the evening air. The merchant servants bring you cool sherbet flavored with rose water and mint, served in cups of hammered silver that feel cool against your palms. Around you, other members of your caravan rest on soft carpets, their voices low and content as they share the day's successful trades. Someone has brought out a small drum, its gentle rhythm matching the slow beating of your relaxed heart. As the golden domes of Samarkand begin to catch the first warm colors of sunset, turning from bright gold to deep amber, you feel the satisfaction that comes only at the end of a journey well made and business well conducted. Tomorrow will bring new negotiations, new wonders to discover in this jewel of cities. But for now, there is only the gentle evening breeze, the sound of water flowing over stone, and the peaceful knowledge that you have reached one of the world's great destinations, where silk and stories, gold and dreams all find their proper value. The domes above continue their eternal dance with the light, welcoming another day of traders to this eternal crossroads of the world. The afternoon sun filters through the latticed windows of Samarkand's great library, casting intricate patterns of light and shadow across rows of wooden shelves that stretch toward the vaulted ceiling. The air carries the familiar scent of aged parchment and the faint sweetness of sandalwood incense burning in brass holders throughout the vast hall. Here, in this sanctuary of knowledge, time seems to move differently, as if the weight of accumulated wisdom has slowed its passage. You watch as Hassan, the caravan master, approaches one of the senior scholars, a gentle man with silver-streaked beard whose fingers are permanently stained with ink. The scholar's eyes crinkle with warmth as he gestures toward a collection of rolled silk scrolls arranged carefully in cedar boxes. These are the precious maps, he explains in a voice barely above a whisper, each one a record of routes traveled by countless merchants across the centuries. The scholar's hands move with practiced reverence as he unrolls a map onto a wide reading table. The silk unfurls like water, revealing delicate brushstrokes that trace mountain passes, mark oasis locations, and note the positions of stars used for navigation. Hassan leans forward, his weathered face intent as he studies the ancient pathways, comparing them with his own mental map of the journey ahead. In the corners of the library, young scribes bend over their work, copying texts with meticulous care. Their reed pens scratch softly against parchment, a rhythmic sound that mingles with the gentle turning of pages and the distant murmur of scholars discussing philosophical points in hushed tones. One scribe pauses to dip his pen in a pot of deep blue ink, the color of midnight sky, before continuing his careful reproduction of an astronomical treatise. The light shifts gradually as the day progresses, and oil lamps are quietly lit throughout the library, their flames steady and warm behind glass shields. The illumination catches the gold leaf decorations on leather-bound volumes, making them gleam like captured sunlight. On one shelf, you notice a collection of books bound in deep green silk, their covers embroidered with constellations that seem to twinkle in the lamplight. A young scholar approaches with an armload of star charts, spreading them beside Hassan's map. These celestial guides show the positions of constellations as they appear throughout the year, marked with notations in various languages: Arabic, Persian, Chinese, Greek, a testament to the universal nature of astronomical knowledge. Hassan traces the path of familiar stars with his finger, nodding as he recognizes the stellar landmarks that have guided his caravans for decades. The library's atmosphere grows even more peaceful as evening approaches. The last of the day's natural light fades, leaving the warm glow of oil lamps to illuminate the scholarly work. A cat appears from between the shelves, padding silently across the floor before settling near a warm lamp, its presence adding to the sense of quiet domesticity that pervades this temple of learning. From somewhere in the depths of the library comes the soft sound of pages being turned, punctuated by the occasional scratch of a pen or the gentle rustle of silk as another ancient map is carefully unrolled. The scholars move like dancers in a slow, timeless ballet, each absorbed in their work, yet part of a greater harmony of intellectual pursuit. Hassan rolls up the maps with careful attention, securing them with silk ribbons before placing them in protective tubes. The scholar who helped him smiles and presses a small volume into his hands, a gift for the journey. He explains, containing poems about the desert stars that have guided travelers for generations. Hassan accepts the gift with a bow of gratitude, understanding that he carries not just goods and wealth, but knowledge itself along the ancient roads. As the caravan master prepares to leave, you notice how the library seems to breathe around you, alive with the quiet energy of preserved wisdom. The scribes continue their patient work, the oil lamps burn steadily, and the ancient texts rest peacefully on their shelves, waiting to share their secrets with future generations of travelers and scholars. The great library of Samarkand settles into its evening rhythm, a place where time and knowledge converge, where the wisdom of ages flows like water from an eternal spring, nourishing all who seek its treasures. In this sanctuary of learning, the caravan's brief visit becomes part of an endless cycle of discovery. As knowledge travels the Silk Roads just as surely as merchants and their precious goods, carried forward on the wings of human curiosity and wonder. The afternoon sun filters through the canopy of ancient plane trees as you follow the stone pathway deeper into the Shah's private gardens. Each step carries you further from the dusty caravan routes and into a world where water sings in gentle cascades, and the air itself seems perfumed with centuries of careful cultivation. The geometric precision of Persian design unfolds before you like pages from an illuminated manuscript. Rectangular pools stretch in perfect symmetry, their surfaces mirror still, except where small fountains send delicate sprays into the warm air. The water catches the dappled sunlight, creating patterns of light that dance across the surrounding white marble walkways. You pause beside the central fountain, where 4 channels of water flow outward like the cardinal directions, dividing the garden into perfect quarters. The sound is hypnotic, a soft, continuous whisper that seems to wash away the memory of desert winds and caravan bells. Here, in this sanctuary of cultivation and peace, time moves differently. Rose bushes line the pathways in orderly rows, their blooms ranging from deep crimson to the palest pink. The gardeners have trained them with patient hands, each branch positioned to create maximum beauty while allowing the gentle breeze to carry their fragrance throughout the space. You breathe deeply, filling your lungs with the sweet, heady scent that speaks of generations of careful tending. An elderly Persian gentleman approaches along the parallel walkway, his robes the color of twilight blue. His movements are unhurried, contemplative, as he tends to the plants with the reverence of one who understands that gardens are living prayers. He nods in greeting, his eyes crinkling with the warmth of someone who has found deep contentment in life's simple rhythms. "The roses bloom best in the late afternoon," he says softly, his voice carrying the musical cadence of his native tongue, "when the day's heat begins to fade and the earth can breathe again." His weathered hands cup a particularly full bloom, and he inhales its perfume with obvious pleasure. You settle onto a marble bench, positioned in the shade of a pomegranate tree, its branches heavy with fruit that glows like jewels in the filtered light. The stone is cool against your back, worn smooth by countless visitors who have found solace in this same spot. Above you, leaves rustle with the gentlest of breezes, creating a natural canopy that dances with shadow and light. A servant appears as if from nowhere, carrying a silver tray laden with delicate glass cups and a steaming samovar. The tea service is arranged with the same geometric precision as the garden itself, each element placed with intention and care. The cups are paper thin, decorated with intricate patterns that catch and hold the light like captured rainbows. Steam rises from the golden liquid as it's poured, carrying with it the aroma of bergamot and cardamom. The first sip is a revelation of warmth and complexity, flavors that seem to contain the essence of distant mountains and morning mist. You cradle the warm glass between your palms, feeling the heat seep into your fingers as you watch the fountain's gentle spray create momentary prisms in the air. The gardener joins you on the adjacent bench, accepting his own cup with a nod of gratitude. For long moments, you sit together in comfortable silence, two travelers sharing the universal language of afternoon rest and contemplation. The garden around you continues its quiet symphony, water flowing, leaves whispering, bees humming drowsily among the flowers. These gardens have witnessed 1,000 years of seasons, he says eventually, gesturing with his cup toward the ancient trees whose trunks show the patient rings of countless summers and winters. Sultans and merchants, poets and pilgrims, all have found peace in these pathways. The pomegranate tree drops a single leaf, which spirals down to land perfectly on the marble beside your feet. Its surface is veined with gold and rust, a natural artwork created by time and sun, and the tree's own gentle letting go. You watch as a small bird, quick and bright, darts down to investigate before disappearing again into the leafy heights. As the afternoon deepens, the light grows softer, more golden. The geometric pools reflect the sky like mirrors, their surfaces occasionally disturbed by the gentle touch of falling petals. The roses seem to glow more intensely in this mellowed light, as if they're storing the day's warmth to release slowly through the coming evening. Your teacup grows light in your hands as you savor the final drops, reluctant to break this spell of perfect tranquility. The Shah's gardens have worked their ancient magic, transforming the afternoon into something timeless and precious, a moment of pure peace along the endless journey of the Silk Road. The morning mist rises from the Amu Darya like silk scarves, unfurling in the gentle breeze. You stand at the riverbank with your fellow merchants, watching the ancient waters flow with the same rhythm they have maintained for countless centuries. The caravan has traveled many miles to reach this crossing, and now the great river stretches before you like a liquid highway between worlds. The water moves with surprising gentleness for such a wide expanse, its surface catching the early sunlight and reflecting it back in countless dancing diamonds. Along the far shore, date palms sway in perfect harmony, their fronds whispering secrets to the morning air. The sound of flowing water creates a natural lullaby that seems to slow time itself. Local fishermen emerge from reed houses built on stilts along the riverbank. Their movements are unhurried and graceful, born from generations of living in partnership with these waters. They pull their wooden boats with practiced ease, the vessels cutting smooth lines through the current. These men know every eddy, every sandbar, every seasonal change the river brings. The lead fisherman approaches your caravan master, his weathered face creased with smile lines earned from years spent under the sun. They speak in the universal language of trade and travel, hands gesturing toward the laden camels and then across to the distant shore. An agreement forms naturally, as agreements have formed at this crossing for hundreds of years. Preparation begins with the same careful attention your caravan brings to every aspect of the journey. The most precious goods are wrapped in additional layers of oiled leather. Camels are coaxed into special wide rafts, their calm temperament serving them well as they settle onto the floating platforms. The animals seem to sense the importance of this moment, remaining still and patient. You watch as the fishermen secure thick ropes between their boats, creating a guided pathway across the current. Their knowledge transforms what could be a treacherous crossing into something approaching ceremony. Each movement has purpose. Each knot tells a story of countless safe passages. The first raft pushes away from shore, carrying several merchants and their most trusted animals. The fishermen work in perfect coordination, some pushing with long poles while others manage the guiding ropes. Their boats move like dancers in a slow, ancient ballet performed on liquid stage. Herons stand motionless in the shallows, their elegant forms reflected perfectly in the still water near the banks. These noble birds seem like guardians of the crossing, their presence adding dignity to the scene. One turns its head slowly to observe the passing caravan, its movement so deliberate it appears almost ceremonial. The water laps gently against the sides of the rafts, a rhythmic sound that blends with the soft conversations of the merchants and the quiet commands of the fishermen. No one speaks loudly here. The river demands respect, and everyone feels the weight of its ancient presence. Halfway across, you can see both shores clearly. Behind you, the path you have traveled stretches back toward mountains, now purple with distance. Ahead, new territories await, filled with cities whose names carry the music of distant cultures. The river serves as more than a barrier, it is a bridge between chapters of your journey. The water reflects the sky so perfectly that for moments it seems you are floating through clouds. Fish swim in lazy circles below the rafts, their silver forms visible in the clear depths. Everything moves with the unhurried pace of nature's own rhythm. The fishermen share stories as they work, their voices mixing with the water sounds to create something like music. Though you cannot understand their words, the tone speaks of contentment, of men who have found harmony with their environment. Their laughter comes easily, a sound that seems to bless the crossing. As your raft approaches the far shore, you feel the subtle shift as the boat's bottom touches sandy shallows. The fishermen splash into the water to guide the final approach, their movements creating gentle ripples that spread outward in perfect circles. The camels step onto solid ground with visible relief, shaking their coats and immediately beginning to browse on the sweet grasses that grow along the riverbank. The merchants check their goods, finding everything dry and secure. The crossing has been accomplished with the same quiet competence that marks all successful desert travel. Payment to the fishermen involves not just coins, but small gifts from distant places, spices that will flavor their evening meals, bits of colored cloth that will brighten their simple homes. These exchanges create connections that span continents, reminders that the caravan routes weave together not just cities, but lives. As the sun climbs higher, the mist finally clears completely from the water's surface. The Amu Darya flows on toward its ancient destination, carrying with it the reflection of your caravan as you organize for the next portion of the journey. The river crossing is complete, another peaceful chapter in your endless story of trade and travel. The morning sun casts long shadows across the cobblestones as your caravan approaches the gates of Kashgar, where the sweet scent of cardamom mingles with the gentle murmur of the flowing river nearby. The town awakens slowly, like a flower opening its petals to the dawn, and you can hear the soft clip-clop of your camel's hooves echoing against the ancient stone walls that have welcomed travelers for countless generations. As you pass through the arched gateway, carved with intricate patterns that seem to dance in the shifting light, the bazaar of 100 spices unfolds before you like a tapestry woven from dreams and distant lands. Merchants are already arranging their precious wares, creating perfect pyramids of golden turmeric, deep red paprika, and ivory-colored cardamom pods that catch the early light like scattered pearls. The air itself seems alive with fragrance. You breathe in slowly, letting the warm breeze carry the complex symphony of scents to your senses. There's the woody sweetness of cinnamon bark, rolled tight like ancient scrolls containing secrets of far-off Ceylon. The sharp, almost metallic tang of black peppercorns mingles with the earthy depth of cumin, while threads of precious saffron release their honey-like perfume into the gentle morning air. Your caravan master dismounts with practiced ease, his weathered hands already reaching for the silk bundles that have traveled so many miles from the workshops of Chang'an. The Chinese silk catches the light like captured moonbeams, each bolt shimmering with colors that seem to shift and flow like water-deep midnight blues, rich burgundies, and pale golds that remind you of dawn breaking over distant mountains. An elderly spice merchant approaches, his beard white as the snow on distant peaks, his eyes twinkling with the wisdom of decades spent in this aromatic paradise. He runs the silk through his fingers with reverence, feeling the quality that only comes from silkworms fed on the finest mulberry leaves. His smile speaks of satisfaction, even before words are exchanged. The negotiation begins like a gentle dance, voices kept low and respectful in the traditional way. You watch as small clay cups appear, filled with mint tea that steams fragrantly in the cooling air. The merchant offers you a pinch of saffron to taste, the precious crimson threads dissolving on your tongue with their distinctive flavor sweet, hay-like, with just a hint of metallic complexity that speaks of the crocus fields where they were harvested at dawn. Around you, the bazaar comes alive with peaceful activity. Other merchants tend to their displays with the patience of artists, adjusting pyramids of star anise that look like tiny wooden flowers, arranging long cinnamon quills in neat bundles, and carefully measuring out portions of precious spices on gleaming brass scales that sing softly with each movement. A young apprentice walks by carrying baskets of fresh nutmeg, each one carefully wrapped in cloth to preserve its potent oils. The warm, sweet scent follows in his wake like an invisible cloud, mixing with the roses that a flower seller nearby sprinkles with water to keep them fresh in the warming day. The river provides a constant, soothing soundtrack to the morning's activities. Its gentle murmur carries the promise of distant mountains, where the snow melts to feed this life-giving waterway. Sometimes you catch the sound of wooden wheels on the stone bridge nearby, as other merchants arrive to join in this ancient ritual of trade. As your silk bundles are examined and admired, you find yourself marveling at this crossroads of cultures. Here, Chinese craftsmanship meets Persian expertise, where the patient work of silk farmers mingles with the careful cultivation of spice gardens, tended by families whose knowledge has passed down through generations like precious heirlooms. The transaction concludes with handshakes and bows, the universal language of respect and mutual benefit. Your camels will soon carry sacks of cardamom that will perfume evening teas in distant Chinese courts, while precious saffron will color celebration, cakes in kitchens, thousands of miles from this riverside town. As you prepare to continue your journey, you take one last deep breath of the spice-scented air. The bazaar continues its timeless rhythm around you, merchants arranging their colorful displays, customers examining wares with careful attention, and the river flowing past, carrying the dreams and hopes of all who gather in this magical place. The sun climbs higher, warming the ancient stones and releasing even more fragrance into the air. As your caravan prepares to carry these treasures onward along the Silk Road, where new adventures and peaceful trading posts await beneath the endless sky. The morning sun filters through latticed windows as you enter the weaver's quarter, where the soft rhythm of shuttles moving across looms creates a gentle melody that has echoed through these streets for countless generations. The air carries the earthy scent of wool and the subtle fragrance of natural dyes, saffron yellow, madder red, and the deep blue of indigo that seems to hold the very essence of twilight within its threads. In the largest workshop, Master Jamshid sits cross-legged before an enormous vertical loom, his weathered hands moving with the fluid grace of decades spent perfecting his craft. The carpet taking shape beneath his fingers tells a story in silk and wool, intricate pomettes unfurling like garden blooms, geometric borders that seem to pulse with quiet energy, and flowing vines that dance across the surface in patterns older than memory itself. Each knot holds intention. He murmurs to his young apprentice, who watches with reverent attention. See how the thread wraps twice around the warp, then pulls through. This is the foundation upon which beauty rests. His fingers demonstrate the movement, so practiced it appears almost effortless, though you know that behind this ease lies years of patient learning and countless hours of careful work. Beside him, his daughter Yasmin works on a smaller piece, her concentration absolute as she follows the cartoon, the paper pattern that guides her design. The colors seem to flow from her hands like liquid light, cream and gold creating the impression of desert sand, deep burgundy suggesting the rich earth after rain, and touches of green that bring to mind the precious oases that dot the caravan routes. In the corner, 3 children play a quiet game with wooden spools of thread, building miniature cities and gardens, their whispered conversations adding a gentle counterpoint to the steady rhythm of weaving. Their grandmother, ancient and wise, sits nearby sorting hanks of newly dyed wool, her fingers still sure despite her years, testing each strand for strength and color consistency. The workshop feels like a place where time moves differently, where the urgent demands of the outside world fade away, replaced by the meditative rhythm of creation. Sunbeams shift slowly across the floor as the day progresses, illuminating dust motes that dance like tiny spirits in the golden light. The weavers work in comfortable companionship, sometimes sharing quiet words about technique or color, sometimes simply existing in the peaceful silence that comes when hands are busy with meaningful work. You watch as Master Jamshid demonstrates how to create a perfect knot, the fundamental building block from which these magnificent carpets emerge. Patience, he says softly, is the weaver's greatest tool. Each carpet teaches us to slow down, to breathe, to trust in the process of gradual creation. His hands continue their steady work as he speaks, adding row upon row of tiny knots that will, in time, become part of something beautiful and enduring. The afternoon brings visitors, merchants from the caravan eager to commission pieces for their customers in distant cities. But there is no hurry here, no pressure to rush the creative process. The weavers understand that true beauty cannot be forced, that the finest carpets emerge from a harmony between skill and time, pattern and spontaneity, tradition and individual expression. As shadows lengthen, apprentices carefully cover the looms with soft cloth, protecting the day's work from dust and moisture. The children gather the scattered spools, returning them to their proper places, with the reverence that comes from growing up surrounded by beauty and craftsmanship. Master Jamshid runs his hand gently across the growing carpet, feeling for any irregularities, making mental notes for tomorrow's work. The workshop gradually settles into evening quiet, though the sense of creative energy remains, as if the very walls have absorbed decades of patient labor and artistic dedication. The carpets hanging on display seem to glow in the fading light, masterpieces that will soon travel along the silk roads to grace palaces and homes in far-off lands, carrying with them something of this village's peaceful spirit. Tonight, the weavers will rest knowing that their work continues an unbroken chain of tradition, that their hands are part of a larger tapestry stretching back through time. Tomorrow, they will return to their looms, adding more knots to the growing patterns, continuing the ancient dance of creation that has sustained their community for generations. In this gentle rhythm of work and rest, tradition and innovation, they have found something precious, a way of life that honors both beauty and purpose, creating objects that will outlast their makers and bring joy to countless future generations. The morning mist clings to the valley floor like a silk veil as your caravan crests the final ridge of the mountain pass. Below you stretches a sight that makes even the most seasoned travelers pause in wonder: the Valley of Wild Horses, where endless grasslands roll like green ocean waves beneath the brightening sky. The air here carries a different quality, sweet with the scent of wild grasses and morning dew. You breathe deeply, feeling the coolness fill your lungs as the first rays of sunlight pierce through the dissipating fog. The valley stretches endlessly before you, a vast carpet of emerald and gold that seems to merge with the horizon itself. Your guide points toward the center of the valley, where movement catches the eye, shadows flowing across the grassland like ripples on water. At first, they seem like clouds drifting across the earth, but as your vision adjusts, you realize you're witnessing something far more magnificent. Horses, hundreds of them, moving together in perfect harmony across the ancient grasslands. The caravan begins its descent along the winding path, wheels creaking softly against the packed earth. With each step lower into the valley, the view becomes more breathtaking. The wild horses move in groups, some grazing peacefully, while others run with their manes flowing like banners in the gentle breeze. Their coats shimmer in the morning light, chestnuts and bays, grays and blacks, each one a masterpiece painted by nature herself. As you draw closer, you can hear the soft thunder of hooves against earth, a rhythm as old as time itself. The sound is not harsh or frightening, but rather like distant drums beaten in celebration of the morning. The horses seem aware of your presence, but untroubled by it, continuing their eternal dance across the valley floor. You notice how they move together, not as a chaotic mass, but as individual families within the greater herd. A mare nuzzles her young foal, encouraging it to keep pace with the group. An old stallion stands sentinel on a small rise, his wise eyes surveying the grasslands while his family grazes nearby. Young horses play together, their movements full of joy and boundless energy, kicking up small clouds of earth as they race in circles. The grass here grows thick and lush, fed by hidden springs that bubble up from deep beneath the earth. You can see these small streams threading through the valley like silver ribbons, creating patches of especially green grass where the horses gather to drink. The water runs crystal clear, reflecting the sky and the graceful forms of the animals as they lower their heads to drink. Your caravan follows the ancient trade route that curves gently through the center of the valley. This path has been worn smooth by countless travelers over thousands of years, each one pausing to marvel at the same sight that now fills your vision. The horses have grown accustomed to the passage of merchants and traders, viewing the caravans as simply another part of the valley's natural rhythm. A family of horses grazes not far from the path, and you watch as a young colt looks up from the grass, its ears pricked forward with curiosity. Its coat is the color of burnished copper, gleaming in the sunlight. The colt takes a few tentative steps toward your caravan, then thinks better of it and trots back to its mother, who continues grazing with the patient wisdom of ages. The wind shifts, carrying with it the sweet scent of crushed grass and wild flowers. Scattered throughout the valley are patches of color: purple lupines, yellow buttercups, and white daisies that nod gently in the breeze. The horses often pause to sample these natural treats, their movements creating ever-changing patterns across the landscape. As your caravan reaches the center of the valley, you find yourself surrounded by this living tapestry. Horses graze on all sides, their presence filling you with a deep sense of peace. There is something profoundly calming about watching these magnificent creatures in their natural home, free to roam as their ancestors did for countless generations. The sun climbs higher, warming the air and causing the morning dew to evaporate into tiny sparkles of light. The horses begin to move more slowly now, conserving their energy for the cooler hours of evening. Many find shady spots near the scattered groves of trees that dot the valley, while others simply stand together, their tails swishing lazily to ward off the occasional fly. Time seems to slow in this valley, where the ancient rhythms of nature continue unchanged. The horses, the grass, the gentle wind, and the endless sky all exist in perfect harmony, creating a sanctuary of peace that touches something deep within your soul. As your caravan continues its journey across these sacred grasslands, you carry with you the memory of this timeless beauty, a treasure more precious than any silk or spice in your wagon. The morning light filters through the mountain mist as your caravan approaches the small town of Alamat, nestled high in the foothills where ancient trade routes converge. The air is thin and crisp here, carrying with it the faint scent of wood smoke and something else, a metallic sweetness that speaks of furnaces and flame. Your camel's bells chime softly as you pass through the narrow stone streets, their hooves clicking rhythmically on worn cobblestones polished smooth by centuries of merchants and travelers. The houses rise in terraced layers up the mountainside, their flat roofs connected by wooden bridges and narrow stairs carved directly into the rock. But it is the workshop that draws your attention. A low, wide building where orange light dances through small windows, and where the sound of gentle breathing seems to emerge from the very walls. This is the heart of Alamat's most precious craft, the ancient art of glass making. You dismount and approach the workshop, feeling the warmth radiating from its thick stone walls even before you reach the entrance. The wooden door stands open, revealing a scene that seems touched by magic. Inside, 3 large furnaces glow like captured suns, their flames dancing hypnotically behind iron grates. The air shimmers with heat, creating patterns that ripple and flow like water made of light. Master Yusef, the eldest of the glass blowers, notices your approach and nods in greeting. His face is weathered and kind, marked by decades of working near the intense heat of the furnaces. His hands, you notice, are remarkably steady despite his age, a testament to years of shaping molten glass with precision and grace. "Welcome, travelers," he says, his voice soft and measured. "You arrive at a perfect moment. The glass is ready." You watch in fascination as Yusef approaches one of the furnaces, where a young apprentice tends the flames with practiced movements. The fire burns at just the right temperature, hot enough to keep the glass molten, but controlled enough to work with safely. The apprentice's movements are deliberate and unhurried, each adjustment to the fuel carefully considered. Yusef takes up his blowpipe, a long iron rod that has been heated until it glows dull red at one end. He dips it into the furnace, gathering molten glass onto the tip like honey on a spoon. The glass glows brilliant orange, almost too bright to look at directly, pulsing with inner fire. Then comes the breath, slow, steady, measured. Yusef places his lips to the cool end of the pipe, and breathes life into the molten glass. You can hear the soft whoosh of air traveling down the iron tube, and watch in wonder as the glass begins to expand, forming a perfect bubble that grows larger with each gentle breath. The bubble of glass glows like a small sun as Youssef rolls it carefully on a metal table, keeping it warm, keeping it moving. With wooden paddles, he shapes it with movements that seem like a dance, lifting, turning, pressing gently here and there. The glass responds to his touch like a living thing, flowing and reshaping itself under his guidance. Nearby, another craftsman works on a different piece, a delicate vase with a long, graceful neck. He uses small metal tools to create subtle ridges and curves, each movement precise and purposeful. The glass, still warm and pliable, accepts each touch, transforming from a simple bubble into something beautiful and functional. The workshop fills with the soft sounds of creation, the whisper of breath through pipes, the gentle scraping of tools on cooling glass, the low murmur of masters instructing their apprentices. Steam rises occasionally as water is used to cool completed pieces, creating small clouds that catch and scatter the orange light from the furnaces. You notice the finished pieces displayed on wooden shelves along the walls, bottles and bowls, drinking cups and decorative vessels. Each one is unique, bearing the subtle marks of its maker's hands and breath. Some are clear as mountain streams, others tinted with deep blues and greens, colors achieved through carefully guarded secrets passed down through generations. As the afternoon light begins to fade beyond the workshop windows, the glow from the furnaces becomes even more magical. The craftsmen continue their work by this warm light, their movements casting dancing shadows on the stone walls. The heat creates a cocoon of comfort against the cool mountain air outside. Master Youssef completes his piece, a simple but elegant bowl that will grace someone's table for generations to come. He places it carefully in the cooling oven, where it will rest until morning, gradually returning to room temperature in its own time. The workshop settles into evening quiet, the flames burning lower now, the day's work complete. You step back into the cool mountain air, carrying with you the memory of molten light and the gentle rhythm of ancient craftsmanship, where fire and breath and steady hands transform sand into beauty. The plateau stretches endlessly before you, a vast table of stone and earth lifted high above the world below. Your caravan has climbed steadily throughout the day, following ancient paths worn smooth by countless travelers who have passed this way over centuries. The camels' bells have fallen silent now, their gentle chiming replaced by the profound quiet that comes only at such heights, where the air grows thin and the sky seems close enough to touch. As evening settles over this elevated realm, you guide your weary animals to a sheltered spot among weathered boulders. The rocks still hold the warmth of the day's sun, radiating gentle heat that will comfort you through the cooling night ahead. Your fellow travelers move with practiced efficiency, setting up camp with the quiet confidence of those who have made their beds beneath countless skies. The camels settle gratefully onto the sandy ground between the rocks, their long legs folding beneath them with sighs of contentment. Their day's work is done, and they chew peacefully, great jaws working in steady rhythm as they process the sparse vegetation they've gathered along the trail. Their eyes, dark and patient, reflect the growing dusk as they watch their human companions with the serene acceptance of creatures born to this harsh but beautiful land. To the east, distant mountains rise like sleeping giants against the darkening sky. Their peaks catch the last golden light of the vanished sun, glowing amber and rose before slowly fading to deep purple shadows. The silence here is not empty but full, alive with the whisper of wind across stone, the soft shuffle of sand, and the occasional gentle snort from a resting camel. You arrange your sleeping roll atop a flat stone still warm from the day's heat, and settle down to watch the sky transform. The western horizon holds the last memory of daylight, a thin band of amber that slowly gives way to deeper blues. Above, the first stars begin to emerge, pinpricks of silver light that seem to pulse with ancient fire. Then, as you watch in quiet wonder, the eastern horizon begins to glow with a different kind of light. Soft and ethereal, it grows stronger with each passing moment, until suddenly, magnificently, the full moon rises above the distant peaks. It appears enormous at first, a great silver disk that seems close enough to touch, casting the entire plateau in gentle luminescence. The moonlight transforms your high camp into something magical. The weathered boulders become silver sculptures, their surfaces etched with shadows that shift and dance in the gentle breeze. The sand between the rocks gleams like scattered pearls, while the camels rest in pools of soft shadow, their forms peaceful and statuesque in the lunar glow. As the moon climbs higher, growing smaller but more brilliant, the stars emerge in earnest. One by one, then in clusters, they pierce the velvet darkness until the entire dome of sky sparkles with celestial fire. Here, far from any settlement, with no torches or fires to dim their light, the stars reveal themselves in all their ancient glory. The Milky Way unfurls like a river of light across the heavens, connecting horizon to horizon in a great arc of wonder. The air grows cooler now, carrying scents of sage and distant snow from the mountain peaks. You pull your traveling cloak closer and breathe deeply of the crisp, clean air that tastes of starlight and stone. Around you, your companions settle into their own quiet contemplation, some lying back to watch the stellar display above, others tending to small tasks by moonlight. The camels have entered their deep, peaceful sleep, their breathing slow and steady. Occasionally, one shifts position with a soft grunt, but mostly they rest as still as the ancient rocks that shelter your camp. Their presence is comforting. These patient creatures who have carried you safely across so many miles, who know the desert's moods and the mountain's secrets. As the night deepens, a profound stillness settles over the plateau. The wind has gentled to the softest whisper, barely stirring the prayer flags your caravan leader has strung between poles to flutter blessings into the night air. The only sounds are your own quiet breathing and the subtle symphony of the high places. The distant howl of wind through mountain passes, the soft patter of sand shifting against stone. The moon continues its stately journey across the star-filled sky, bathing everything in silver serenity. Time seems to slow here on this high plateau, as if the ordinary world with its hurried concerns exists far below, leaving only peace, wonder, and the eternal dance of earth and sky. The ancient road stretches on ahead, promising more wonders, more quiet camps beneath foreign stars. But for now, this moment is complete and perfect. You, your companions, and the infinite beauty of the desert night. The sun hangs low in the western sky, painting the desert sands in shades of amber and gold as your caravan crests the final dune. Before you spreads the last oasis, a green jewel nestled in the endless sea of sand. Palm trees sway gently in the evening breeze, their fronds whispering ancient secrets to the twilight air. The sight brings a collective sigh of relief from your fellow travelers, their faces weathered but hopeful after weeks crossing the vast desert. As you descend toward the settlement, the sweet scent of date blossoms mingles with the earthy aroma of fresh water. Children's laughter drifts on the warm air, mixing with the gentle lowing of camels and the soft tinkling of wind chimes hanging from the doorways of mud brick houses. This oasis town has served travelers for countless generations, a sanctuary where the harsh desert yields to life-giving springs and verdant gardens. Your camels quicken their pace, sensing the promise of cool water and sweet fodder ahead. Their bells chime softly with each step, creating a melodic accompaniment to the peaceful evening sounds. The caravan master guides you through narrow streets lined with date palms, their heavy clusters of fruit hanging like nature's own lanterns in the fading light. The marketplace comes alive as evening falls, transformed into a gentle gathering place where merchants display their wares beneath colorful awnings. Date sellers arrange their offerings in woven baskets, plump medjool dates glistening like jewels, smaller deglet, nor varieties sweet as honey, and dried dates pressed into cakes for the long journey ahead. The vendors call out softly, their voices melodic rather than urgent, understanding that this is a place for rest and contemplation. You dismount near the central well, where clear water bubbles up from deep underground springs. The sound is like music after the silence of the desert, a gentle gurgling that speaks of life and renewal. Water sellers fill leather skins and clay vessels, their movements practiced and unhurried. They've served countless caravans, understanding the sacred nature of their work in this harsh landscape. As darkness settles over the oasis, small oil lamps begin to flicker to life throughout the settlement. Their warm glow reflects in the still pools scattered among the palm groves, creating mirrors of starlight on earth. The temperature drops from the scorching heat of day to a perfect warmth that seems to embrace your travel-weary body. Musicians gather in the central courtyard, their instruments appearing as if by magic. A lute player begins with a simple melody, his fingers dancing across the strings with practiced ease. A flute joins in, its sweet notes floating upward like incense. The rhythm section follows a small drum and wooden clappers, marking time as gently as a sleeping heartbeat. Their music speaks of ancient trade routes, of starlit nights and dawn prayers, of the eternal dance between wanderer and home. Children from the oasis town sit cross-legged around the musicians, their eyes wide with wonder at the tales your caravan might tell. But tonight is for rest, for gentle songs rather than grand adventures. The melodies flow like water, washing away the dust and weariness of long desert days. You find yourself drawn to a small tea house where the proprietor serves glasses of sweet mint tea, the steam rising in delicate spirals. The liquid is amber-colored in the lamplight, warming your throat and settling your spirit. Other travelers sit quietly at low tables, some writing in journals by flickering candlelight, others simply gazing up at the emerging stars. The desert night sky reveals itself gradually, star by star, constellation by constellation. With no city lights to compete, the heavens display their full glory, the Milky Way stretching across the darkness like a cosmic trade route, connecting distant worlds. The Southern Cross hangs low on the horizon, a celestial compass pointing toward tomorrow's journey. As the evening progresses, the music grows softer, more contemplative. The musicians play traditional melodies passed down through generations, songs of safe travels, of cool springs in endless deserts, of the bonds formed between strangers sharing the road. The lute strings shimmer in the firelight, each note clear and pure in the still air. Your fellow travelers begin to prepare for sleep, spreading their bedrolls beneath the stars or in the simple guest quarters the oasis provides. Camels settle for the night with contented groans, finally able to rest their travel-weary bones on soft sand rather than shifting dunes. Tomorrow will bring new landscapes as you leave the desert behind, but tonight belongs to this peaceful haven. The last oasis offers not just water and supplies, but a moment of perfect tranquility, a gentle transition from the harsh beauty of the desert to whatever wonders lie ahead on the ancient Silk Road. The musicians play their final song of the evening, a lullaby older than memory. As you close your eyes and let the peaceful sounds of the oasis carry you toward dreams of tomorrow's journey. The morning mist clings to the ancient stones as your caravan crests the final hill, and there, before you, stretches the magnificent sight you have dreamed of for so many months. The western city rises from the valley floor like a vision from another world, its limestone walls catching the first golden rays of dawn. The massive gates stand 40 feet high, carved with intricate patterns that speak of countless generations of skilled artisans who have called this place home. You can hear the gentle lowing of your camels as they sense journey's end, their bells creating a soft melody that dances on the morning air. The silk bundles they carry have traveled thousands of miles, crossing deserts where the sand sang in the wind, through mountain passes where eagles soared overhead, along rivers that reflected the stars like scattered diamonds. Now, at last, the precious cargo will find new homes in the markets beyond those towering walls. The caravan master raises his weathered hand, calling for a gentle halt. His voice carries the satisfaction of a man who has guided his charges safely across the world. Rest now, he says softly to the merchants and travelers who have become like family during these long months together. Let us prepare ourselves properly for our arrival. Below you, the city awakens with the peaceful rhythm of daily life. Thin spirals of smoke rise from countless chimneys, carrying the scent of baking bread and brewing tea. Gardens cascade down the hillsides in terraced layers, heavy with fruit trees and flowering vines. The sound of water trickles up from fountains and streams that wind their way through the streets, creating a constant, soothing murmur that speaks of abundance and rest. Your fellow travelers move about their morning preparations with quiet purpose. There is Omar, the spice merchant from Damascus, carefully checking his precious saffron one final time. His weathered hands move with the tenderness of someone handling liquid gold. Nearby, young Hassan tends to his family's carpets, each one a masterpiece woven with threads of azure and crimson that seem to hold the very essence of distant lands. The camels settle into their familiar routine, grateful for this pause before the final descent. Their patient eyes reflect the wisdom of creatures born to traverse great distances, and their soft breathing creates a rhythm as steady as a lullaby. The morning air carries the scent of their warm bodies mixed with the lingering fragrance of jasmine and sandalwood that has perfumed your journey for so many weeks. As you gaze down at the western city, you notice the intricate details that distance had hidden. The walls are not merely stone, but a tapestry of different colored rocks arranged in flowing patterns. Windows dot the surface like friendly eyes, many adorned with carved wooden shutters painted in soft blues and greens. Towers rise at regular intervals, their tops crowned with copper domes that have turned to the most beautiful shade of sea green with age. The gates themselves are works of art beyond imagination. Massive bronze doors are set within an archway carved from single blocks of marble. Even from this distance, you can see the delicate reliefs that cover every surface: vines and flowers, mythical beasts with kind expressions, and scenes of travelers like yourselves being welcomed with open arms. Above the arch, silken banners flutter gently in the morning breeze, their colors bright against the pale stone. Gardens surround the city walls, carefully tended plots where farmers move with unhurried grace among rows of vegetables and grain. The sight fills your heart with warmth, knowing that here is a place where the earth is cherished and the rhythms of growth and harvest are honored. Children's laughter drifts up occasionally, clear and sweet as temple bells, mixing with the calls of birds that nest in the olive trees. Your own breathing begins to slow and deepen as you absorb this scene of peace and prosperity. The tension of the long journey starts to melt from your shoulders like snow in spring sunshine. Soon, very soon, you will walk through those magnificent gates and find yourself surrounded by the gentle bustle of a city that has welcomed travelers for 1,000 years. The sun climbs higher, warming your face and casting long, soft shadows across the valley. Somewhere in the distance, you hear the faint sound of music, perhaps a flute player welcoming the morning from one of those tower tops, his melody floating on the air like silk ribbons unfurling in a gentle breeze. The caravan master's voice comes again, even softer now. When you are ready, he says, we shall make our descent. The gates of the western city await us with the same patience they have shown to countless generations of travelers. There is no need to hurry. We have arrived. The morning sun casts long golden shadows across the cobblestones as you step into the grand bazaar of Samarkand, the western jewel that marks the end of your Silk Road journey. The air hums with 1,000 conversations in 12 languages, merchants calling out their wares in melodic voices that rise and fall like gentle waves. After months of desert winds and mountain passes, the bustling energy of the marketplace feels like a warm embrace welcoming you home. Your fingers trace the edge of the precious silk bolt you carry, its surface smooth as still water under the morning light. The fabric catches the sun's rays and holds them, transforming into liquid amber that seems to flow through your hands. Around you, other members of your caravan move through the maze of stalls with quiet confidence, each carrying their own treasures from the distant lands of China. The silk merchant's stall stands beneath a canopy of deep blue cloth, its interior cool and inviting. Bolts of fabric line wooden shelves like sleeping rainbows, each one representing months of careful journey across impossible distances. The merchant's eyes light up as you approach, his weathered hands already reaching out to examine your wares with the practiced touch of someone who has spent decades in this trade. "Ah," he breathes, his voice soft with appreciation as he feels the silk between his fingers. "This is the work of master weavers. Feel how it catches the light, how it whispers when it moves." The fabric unfurls like a gentle stream, cascading in waves of color that seem to hold entire sunsets within their threads. Persian traders gather around, their own eyes bright with interest as they murmur among themselves in voices low and respectful. The negotiation unfolds like a careful dance, each offer and counteroffer delivered with smiles and small glasses of sweet tea. Gold coins change hands with soft chiming sounds, their weight substantial and satisfying in your palm. Silver pieces follow, each one carefully counted and examined before disappearing into leather pouches worn smooth by countless transactions. As the sun climbs higher, the air fills with the scent of saffron and cardamom from nearby spice stalls. Your fellow travelers begin to gather, their own trading completed, faces bright with the satisfaction of journeys well concluded. Zhang Wei approaches with a smile that crinkles the corners of his eyes, his own purse heavy with the rewards of his jade carvings. Behind him, old Hassan carries a new walking stick, its wood polished to a warm glow, purchased with silver earned from his precious amber. "Come," Hassan calls out in his gentle voice, gesturing toward a courtyard where tables have been arranged beneath flowering pomegranate trees. "The feast is prepared. Tonight we celebrate not just successful trade, but the bonds forged across all these miles." The courtyard fills with the sound of laughter and conversation as merchants, traders, and travelers take their places around low tables laden with steaming dishes. Platters of saffron rice appear, each grain golden and fragrant. Roasted lamb arrives on wooden boards, its meat so tender it falls apart at the touch of a fork. Bowls of thick yogurt mixed with herbs provide cool contrast to the warm spices that dance on your tongue. The bread, baked fresh in clay ovens, tears into soft pieces that melt in your mouth like edible clouds. As the afternoon fades into evening, musicians take their places in the corner of the courtyard. The haunting sound of a flute begins, its melody floating over the gathering like silk on a gentle breeze. A drum joins in, its rhythm steady and hypnotic, matching the beat of heart's content after long endeavor. The oud adds its voice, strings singing stories of distant places and the roads that connect them all. One by one, your companions begin to share tales of the journey now ending. Wei speaks of the monastery in the mountains, where monks taught him new patterns for his carvings. A Persian trader describes the oasis, where his camels learned to trust again after a sandstorm. Each story adds another thread to the tapestry of shared experience that binds you all together. The stars begin to appear overhead, scattered like scattered coins across dark silk. Lanterns flicker to life around the courtyard, their warm light reflecting off faces grown dear through months of shared hardship and wonder. The final toasts are made with goblets of sweet wine that tastes of distant vineyards and patient waiting. As the evening winds down and farewells begin, you realize that while the Silk Road journey may be ending, the connections forged along its length will endure. The gold and silver in your purse represents more than successful trade. It carries the weight of trust given and received, of friendships formed in the crucible of shared adventure. Tomorrow will bring new plans, new journeys, new dreams to pursue. But tonight, in this courtyard beneath foreign stars, surrounded by voices speaking a dozen different languages united in gratitude and joy, the ancient road has delivered its greatest treasure, the knowledge that strangers can become family when they share the path toward common dreams. The evening fire crackles softly as Master Chen spreads his weathered maps across a carpet of silk, the finest threads catching the amber light like captured starlight. His fingers, marked by years of desert sand and mountain cold, trace familiar routes with the tenderness of a father's touch. The successful completion of this season's journey has filled the caravan's coffers, but it has also stirred something deeper in the old merchant's heart, the eternal pull of the road that stretches beyond every horizon. Around him, the younger traders lean in close, their eyes wide with the same wonder that first drew them to the Silk Road's embrace. Young Lai Wai, barely past his 20th year, watches as Chen's finger follows the northern route through the Taklamakan Desert, past oases whose names roll off the tongue like poetry: Kashgar, Samarkand, Bukhara. Each dot on the parchment represents weeks of travel, countless sunrises over endless dunes, and nights beneath stars so brilliant they seem close enough to pluck from the heavens. Tell us about the Jade Gates, Master Chen. Whispers Mei Ling, her voice soft as silk thread. She has heard the story countless times, yet it never fails to transport her beyond these familiar camp walls to places where legend and reality dance together like heat mirages on the desert floor. Chen's eyes grow distant, seeing not the present camp, but gates carved from stone so green it rivals the deepest forest leaves. Beyond Yumen, he begins, his voice taking on the rhythm of wheels turning over ancient stones. The road opens like a great book written in sand and sky. The gates themselves stand as sentinels between the known world and the realm of dreams, where every caravan that passes through carries not just goods, but stories that will outlive us all. The fire settles lower, its flames painting dancing shadows on the faces gathered around the map. In the gentle light, the trade route becomes more than mere marks on parchment. It transforms into a living thing, a great serpent of commerce and culture that has wound its way through empires for countless generations. Young merchants see themselves walking in the footsteps of their fathers and grandfathers, carrying forward traditions as precious as any cargo of jade or gold. I dream sometimes, says Jin, his voice barely above a whisper, of the morning mist rising from the valleys near Tashkent, where the air smells of apricot blossoms and fresh bread from the bazaars. His words paint pictures in the minds of his companions: narrow streets winding between mud brick houses, the musical calls of vendors announcing their wares, the gentle lowing of camels settling in for the night after long days on the road. Master Chen nods knowingly. The Silk Road does not merely connect cities and kingdoms. It weaves itself into the very fabric of a traveler's soul. Those who have walked its ancient paths carry within them a collection of sensory memories. The taste of well water drawn from oases hidden deep in the go-by, the sound of wind singing through the mountain passes of the Pamirs, the sight of prayer flags fluttering like butterflies against an endless blue sky. The road never truly ends, Chen says, rolling the maps with careful reverence. Even when we return to our homes in Chang'an, even when we tend our gardens and bounce grandchildren on our knees, part of us remains out there, traveling through the night toward the next sunrise. His words carry the weight of decades spent in service to this ancient highway, each journey adding another layer to the accumulated wisdom that shines in his patient eyes. As the fire burns lower and the first stars appear in the darkening sky, the younger merchants begin to drift toward their sleeping roles. But their dreams will be filled with images drawn from Chen's words, endless caravans moving like slow rivers across the landscape, their bells chiming in harmony with the eternal song of the desert wind. They will dream of markets where 100 languages blend into a symphony of commerce, of friendships forged across cultural divides, of the moment when a familiar city's walls appear on the horizon after months of travel. The Silk Road calls to them even in sleep, whispering promises of adventures yet to come, of routes still unexplored, of connections yet to be made between distant peoples and far-off lands. In their dreams, they are already walking those ancient paths, their footsteps joining the countless millions who have traveled this way before, carrying forward the great tradition of the Silk Caravan into an eternal tomorrow. The last ember glows softly in the ashes, a tiny beacon in the vast darkness, keeping watch over the dreamers and their visions of the endless, eternal road.